Okay, moving on, part three. A lot of information in this section, nothing really difficult. Probably stuff you've seen before, and I think information you probably are already aware of. Course prerequisites. Okay, we'll talk about text requirement, special equipment software. There really is none, but you probably already have it. But just to make sure everybody's cool, course policies, module schedules, and point distribution. So let's not waste any time. Let's move on. Okay, prerequisites course text. Well, according to the catalog, you are supposed to have successfully completed English 161, Academic Writing 2, Writing for Inquiry and Research, or if you are a transfer student, and equivalent if you have such an animal. Um, Let me begin by saying English 161 is a useful tool. Okay, it's a good course. I understand that they give you several attempts to get a better grade at a running assignment. Well, and that's fine for learning. However, in the business world, your boss is not going to say, can you rewrite this memo so I understand it 2 or 3 times? No, ain't going to happen. If you've got it, great. If you're taking it now, cool. Okay, don't drop, don't make any changes, keep it up. If you haven't taken it yet and you need it, don't worry about it. We'll pretend like you've got it, but go ahead and do that. Okay, so enough on English 161. Of course, again, with text, we already talked about this. There isn't one. I did used to use one. I found it very unpleasant, not very fulfilling, especially for the price. So again, everything you will need will either be in Blackboard and or the YouTube channel. All right, that was an easy slide. Let's keep moving on. Okay, special equipment and software. Well, yeah, I guess to some degree there is special equipment and software that is required. Let's take a look. First of all, yeah, do you need a reliable computer, a laptop, or a PC? Yes, you really need to have something like that. An internet connection, absolutely gotta have it. And then finally, I prefer to use Microsoft Word and eventually down the road, possibly PowerPoint. Now, there are other word processing and presentation type of softwares, but they don't work well when it comes to me and I got to convert it over. So MS Office, I believe you can get this stuff online through the web store, UIC web store. A printer, yeah, again, a printer's pretty much for your use because what you see on the computer is not what you're going to see necessarily on a piece of paper. So if you're never sure, print it up. How does it look? Okay, screens are great, printers work better. Do you need a printer? No. Access to a printer? Yeah, you might want it. Incompatible systems or software, no excuse for format issues or incomplete, missing, or late activities. So again, make sure you've got it, make sure it's working properly, and everything will be peachy keen. All right, yeah, I got to throw some pictures in there. Why? I don't know. Had to do it. Anyways, enough on that. Let's move on. All right. How about course policies? Yeah, let's talk about some. First of all, this course is designed to be an active learning experience. Now, what does active mean? Well, that's a very good question. First of all, participation. Okay, granted, this is not a classroom face-to-face. However, there will be things you'll have to participate in, team activities and so on. So I want you to make sure that you join the discussions within your teams and online. Complete all the readings, assignments, viewings, prep work prior to the activities. Okay, if you're not prepared, you can't participate. If you don't participate, you're not going to do well. Simple as that, okay? Bring questions on the assigned materials to your team meetings. All right, you're gonna have teams, and I'm gonna hope that you will have at least a weekly team meeting on something. So ask them, they don't know, if you're not sure, you don't like their answers, ask me. All right, so but make sure that you are involved with your teams. All right, directions. Read all Blackboard postings and information sheets immediately upon notification, if not sooner. All right. Course site announcements posted to Blackboard, or you will get a copy of it through your email. Okay. Follow directions completely. Do not assume or interpret. If you don't know, ask me, ask somebody else. If you're still not sure, ask me. Okay, hopefully I'll be sure. Moving on. Homework, yep, no question about it. Expected by the due date and time in the required format or formats, no exceptions. Come on, folks. In the business world, if they want something and they want it by a certain date, certain style, they want you to present it at a board meeting in a clown suit, you present it at a board meeting in a clown suit. So if you don't, okay, make sure your resume is up to date. Anyways, no exceptions. So late homework. Uh, now, while not receiving credit, I might review it and give you some feedback on it. Okay. Homework submitted in a format other than instructed would receive an automatic 10% point deduction. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Now there will be assignments that'll give you some latitude. All right, but from now, follow directions. If you don't, if they're not specific, you don't quite understand them, let me know. Okay, better safe than sorry. All righty, let's move on. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this course is divided into 5 modules. Each module relates to a specific aspect of communication and the business communication process. The first deals with basic communication itself. We all know how to communicate. We know how to speak with someone, how to write with someone. We know how to understand. We know how to reply or to develop and apply some kind of response back to them. But it is necessary, it is highly important that we have a thorough understanding of a complete communication process for effective business communication. The second module deals with this concept of critical thinking and pre-writing. Now, we all know how to think. That's a given. You think 24/7, 365 days a year. Sometimes you think you know you're thinking, and sometimes you don't even have a clue. There's a difference between what we call subjective thought and critical thought. The problem is, for the most part, people do not use effectively critical thinking. They rely far too much on what we call subjective thought, on emotional, on gut response reactions, and unfortunately that leads us into problems. So we will be spending significant time in Module 2 and beyond when it comes to critical thinking. Next, we're going to talk about the pre-writing. The pre-writing is basically organizing these critical thoughts. After we've come up with a situation, a problem, we've come up with thoughts that help us resolve the issue, and then we organize these thoughts. This is the pre-writing component. Again, this is highly important for your success in this course. This will be, again, conducted in weeks 2 and 3. Again, there will be overflows, so it won't be exactly weeks 1 and 2, 2 and 3, but there will be some flow. This will give you kind of a guesstimate of what to expect. Module 3 deals with the basic writing. Now, the basic writing deals with the acceptable, efficient use of the English language. Now, I am not an English teacher. I've never aspired to become an English teacher. Frankly, I found English relatively boring in school. But that's neither here nor there. The point is you have to have a very basic command of the use of the English language. Now, if English is not your strong suit, if you are English second language student, I'm not going to be able to help you much here. However, the university does have the Business Writing Center, which is Grant Hall. Also, the College of Business provides tutoring for BA 200, which we will talk more about. But you do need to have this basic understanding of writing and use of the English language. So this is where we will spend some time here. Next, we're going to move on into the guts, if you wish, of this course, and that'll be probably beginning in week 5, maybe a little sooner. We'll see how things go, but this is the business writing. Now, in this section, we are going to talk about the very basic written components, mediums, if you wish, that are used in business, and they are email, memorandum, letters, and reports. Okay, this is how these are the vehicles, these are the mediums that we use to communicate in written form within the business environment. Now, there are 3 specific modes, if you wish, that you will be using. Most of the writing you will do in business is what we consider routine. Asking questions, sending information, very basic information. The other 2, which you will use and need to have an understanding of how these work, are negative and persuasive messages. Again, these will probably represent a fairly small portion of all of your business writing, but again, you need to know how these work. So again, this will be in Module 4. Module 5 will be another large portion of the course, and this is what I label complex multi-level business communication. Now, in Module 4, you will learn how to write an email. You will learn how to write a memorandum, letter, and a report. This is one directional only. You may respond to something, you may request something, but again, that is very two-dimensional. In reality, in business, you will have what I consider complex multi-level communications. You may have one event which may have multiple individuals that you need to communicate with on multiple topics. This is the fundamentals of the course. This is where you need to be able to organize, keep track of everything, determine what is the best format to use, the best message mode to use. And again, this is where you will learn the realities of business communication here. So again, Module 5 will be a very important part of this course. There will be specific activities and assignments, yes, and there will be specific due dates that will be required. All of this information will be found in the modules section of the BA 200 Blackboard site.
Okay, points, course points. First of all, everything in this class is based on points, total points. So if there's 200 points at the end of the term, 180 to 200 will be an A. 160 to 179.99 will be a B, and so on and so on. There's no deviation, no rounding up, rounding down, and obviously no curve. So let's talk a little bit more. These are the areas that you will be receiving your points in. Every module and every subsection of a module will have pre-discussion questions. These are very short. They typically occur when you are assigned a reading or viewing or combinations of both, and you will complete these pre-discussion quizzes, if you wish, prior to the discussion at the next class time. That'll be about 5% of your total. Next are quizzes. These are end of module or subsection quizzes. They're more extensive and they're about 15%. Team peer evaluations. Now you will be evaluating each of your team members. There will be approximately 4, maybe 5, which will be held, and you will rate the activity, the involvement of each of your team members in a particular assignment or activity. Now the points, the average of the points that your other team members give you will be the points you earn. I have no input into these. So again, that's 10%. Next, the biggest chunk is 50%, and these are the individual application assignments. These are the assignments that you will do that will be produce or that will produce business communiques in the various mediums that are available. More on that. And then finally, a final report. There is no final examination. There is a final report, a final activity, if you wish, and that will be due the very last class meeting of the term. Again, no final during finals week, and it has a value of 20%. Again, the above percentages are approximations. They may vary a little bit. Things happen. Final grades, again, are determined based on your total points. Again, no curves, no rounding up or rounding down. Points earned are posted in the course Blackboard site in your gradebook. You'll note in the Blackboard site there is a My Gradebook or a Gradebook menu. If you click that, that will take you right to your gradebook. It is your responsibility to review your grades in a timely manner. In other words, I will give you notification of when grades have been posted. You will have within up to 48 hours to review them. Now, if there is an issue with a grade, you don't know why, you don't understand, you want more clarification, within that 48 hours, you must email me to say, I'd like to discuss this. At that time, we will then set up an appointment, not necessarily within the 48 hours, but sometime within a near future on a face-to-face basis where we can sit down and talk about it. But again, this must occur, the notification to me must occur within the 48 hours. I won't discuss anything that occurs after that time. Extra credit, actually, it says not currently available, but we do have an extra credit activity. So what we will do, and I will mention this more probably in the first couple of weeks, it's nothing that I give, but it is an activity that the College of Business is involved with, which you can also be involved with. Alrighty, folks, that ends part 3. Let's move on now and take a look at video part number 4.